Hey GlassGang, thanks for tuning in. Today we're taking a look at my V63 Lazer Carbine Ultimate Ghoul Guide and Human Guide at the end for you guys to see. If you want to try the build as a human, you totally can. The buffs are optional with this build, so any buffs that I do and show you towards the end is really just optional. You don't have to do them. We showed on stream that this build could do it without the buffs. That's why I always say the buffs are optional, because I build my builds from the ground up. I get them to the point that they need to be damage-wise and survivability-wise, and then I add buffs that stack together so that you have the option to use them or not. Starting with the weapon, I use a furious, rapid, swift pinpointers V63 Lazer Carbine. And for standard mods, it has the cyclic capacitor and forceful stock. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two runs. One with bullet shield to take down the shield with a heavy gun faster, and one without it, so you can see the difference. And this one is the run without bullet shield. I'm not going to use the heavy gun here. I'm only going to use the V63 rifle for the entire test. And what I'm going to do is immediately open fire to build up bullet storm stacks so that I can have the most amount of damage ready at my disposal once the shield goes down. This does nothing to take down the shield, but will make sure that my V63 rifle has ample amount of damage once the shield goes down. And for survivability, I have medic pump on the chest of my power armor, and I'm only using stim pack supers. This means it'll use a stim pack when my health goes below 50%, every time my health drops below 50%. And with the stim pack super, it's plenty powerful enough to push through all that damage. And look what's going on. We're almost at a minute in on this, and we're not even at half health on the shield. And that's because without bullet shield and a heavy gun, you're really limited on how much damage you can do to the shield with reflect damage. But the nice thing about it is, using the 50 cal option, you don't have the time to build up your bullet storm stacks once the shield goes down. So you have to build your stacks after the shield goes down. And with this method, you'll see that I have a lot more stacks when the shield goes down, and I'm able to do more damage, which does make up for the time difference a little bit. But we're still longer or slower time here than I was hoping, but it's still better than I expected. As you can see, once the shield goes down, it does plenty of damage and can kill EN06 in under 30 seconds. So if you don't want to use heavy guns to take down the shield, you don't have to, because this is still a single stage run, which is impressive. So now for test 2, we're going to use bullet shield and a 50 cal. This is so that we can take down the shield faster, and then once it goes down, I'll switch to the V63 Lazer Carbine. This is so that we gain 20% deflect chance for 6 seconds when firing a heavy gun. And to demonstrate how bullet shield works, I'm going to show you that I'm not even shooting at EN06 and it's taking down the shield. This is because of reflective damage and how bullet shield works. It's just the act of firing a gun that activates it. Once the shield goes down, I switch to the V63 Carbine to do all the damage. Look at that damage, 3,000 damage per shot. Wow. And we are just melting EN06. You will notice a little bit of rubber banding with this rifle, but it still gets the job done. It still does plenty of damage. And with how this approach works, reflective damage will be random, and the shield will come down faster sometimes than other times. And the times, because of this, are going to be all over the place. Usually between 1 minute and a minute 15. And that made a huge difference, a 29-second difference to be exact, which makes a big difference when you're farming EN06 over and over. But if you're not farming it and you just want a strong V63 build, then you don't have to worry about bullet shield and the 50 cal. To some people this is a big difference, to some this is not, so let me know in the comment section below if you're gonna run it or not. We also tested quad, 2-shot, and furious on stream, and they can all single stage EN06. Now let's have a look at the 50 cal I used to take down the shield. This is the weapon I used to break down the shield with bullet shield. It is the 50 cal machine gun with the Vampire's explosive and lightweight legendary mods. I also have the standard receiver and heavy barrel. Now the second star doesn't really matter, but I would do something like faster fire rate or explosive and it'll work great. And having vampires on the first star means that you can actually shoot at the shield and get health regeneration from it, and use this as a survivability method if you're struggling to stay alive. This is the armor set I'm using. It's a full set of Troubleshooter's Vulcan power armor, with some mixed +2 intelligence and some +2 luck armor pieces, and through hikers on every piece, and rangers on 4 pieces with reflective on 1 piece. The important thing to note is that I have medic pump on my chest instead of jetpack. This is specifically for fighting this boss. He does a lot of damage and I don't want to have to worry about stimming, so it stims for me every time my health drops below 50%. There's no cooldown, so it will stim every time. And I only have stim pack supers on me so that it's forced to use a stim pack super no matter what. You also don't have to worry about the 4-star mods because on stream when I was using the reflective armor, it wasn't adding damage to the weapon. So technically, once the shield goes down, it's not doing anything for us, and it was all damage from the weapon. So it can still single stage without the Rangers mods, so don't think you need the 4-star armor, you don't. The weapon mods are more important. And the intelligence mods are also very important for this build. Why I have one single reflective mod? It's because I just like the way the reflective mod looks. It animates this special effect on your armor, and that's really the only reason. So I just like the way it looks. It looks neat though. These are the special points you need for both the human and ghoul version of this build. 6 strength, 15 perception, 8 endurance, 3 charisma, 5 intelligence, 9 agility, and 10 luck. Now for the ghoul version of this build, you need bringing the big guns, easy target, bullet storm, and lock and load, number cruncher, downranger, tormentor, tank killer, center masochist, fast fighter, life giver, bullet shield. This is if you want to run bullet shield. If you don't want to run bullet shield, then I advise you to equip adamantium skeleton and ironclad instead. That'll make up the 4 points. If you don't want to use like the 50 cal to take down the shield, that tactic. Fireproof, starch jeans, glowing gut, strange in numbers, and tenderizer. Under intelligence, this one's important to have a lot of intelligence on this build because we are using intelligence to bring up our base damage of the weapon. We have first aid, field surgeon, science, batteries included, and science monster. This is the most important card here. Increases energy damage based on your intelligence. And like you'll see that in your Pip Boy, you'll see that you can get up to 40% damage through the science perk card, which is a lot of damage, and it really affects this weapon since it's an energy weapon, so like energy baubles affect it, and anytime you increase your intelligence, you're gonna see the damage numbers increase on the weapon. Batteries included, science monster. In agility, I have gunslinger, gunslinger expert, gorilla, gorilla expert, gorilla master, and pack and light. Under luck, I have one gun army, and this is mainly for the 50 cal tactic, so if you don't want to use that, you can use something else, like you can swap it for good with salt, or luck of the draw. I have serendipity, ricochet, 4-leaf clover. You actually don't need 4-leaf clover. I don't know why I had that on there. It's because it was a VATS build previously, and I just missed it. But honestly, I would swap that one out for Curator. Oh, I already have it equipped. I genuinely don't know what I'm going to put there now. Maybe Bloody Mess? I mean, I don't need it. It is a 1-star card now. Let me know what you would do with this 1 extra point. I guess I'll put it in good with salt. It doesn't hurt. Class Freak. Curator. Faulty spots. This one's really important to do a lot of damage to weak spots. This is only for ghouls. Wild West Hands is really nice to have. You have a 36% chance to instantly reload your entire magazine, and when this procs, you don't lose bullet storm stacks. So it's nice. You get to keep your damage and have a full magazine. I need to also talk about this card. This is also really important. You have to have this. Even if you're not going to use the ricochet tactic with the 50 cal, you need to at least have this one. You need to have this card equipped, whether or not you're using the 50 cal. Legendary perks, and this goes for both human and ghoul. 4-star legendary endurance, 4-star legendary luck, strength, full rank taking one for the team, full rank legendary intelligence, and legendary agility. This is the human special perk card loadout. I have bringing the big guns, easy target, bullet storm, and lock and load. Number cruncher, downranger, tormentor, tank killer, center masochist, and fast fighter. Life giver, bullet shield, fireproof, starch jeans, adamantium skeleton, and ironclad. Strange in numbers, and tenderizer. In intelligence, I have first aid, field surgeon, science. This one's really important to increase the damage of your energy weapons with intelligence. So that's why we have intelligence on the armor. It's an intelligence build to bring up the damage, and you also rank up faster with higher intelligence. Batteries included and gunsmith make up the rest of intelligence. Agility, we have gunslinger, gunslinger expert, guerrilla, guerrilla expert, guerrilla master, and pack and light. We have 2 spots open in luck. That's because I'm going to show you guys some options. We have 1 gun army. You use this if you want, you don't have to. It's really for the shield method. If you're not going to use the shield method, then you don't need, and by that I mean the 50 cal, you don't need bullet shield, but you do need to keep ricochet. You do need to keep ricochet. Class freak, curator, good with salt, and luck of the draw. Now, the reason there's 2 spots open is because I can't actually equip this card that's locked, but it's similar. It's the human version of a card that ghouls have, Wild West Hands, but it's called Quick Hands, and it's for humans. Gain an 18% chance to instantly reload when your clip is empty. And the reason why this is so good with Bullet Storm is because when this procs, you won't lose your Bullet Storm stacks, allowing you to keep your 180% damage and keep firing with a full magazine. So yeah, you want to equip this one. I can't because I'm a ghoul right now, but I made a human-based perk card loadout. And it's the same legendary perk cards. These are my mutations. I have adrenal reaction, bird bones, eagle eyes, egghead, herbivore, herd mentality, marsupial, and speed demon serum. So starting with the only food buffs that I would recommend is going to be brain bombs, if you can, if you have it. If you have sugar bombs, you can craft brain bombs with brain fungus, or the next best thing is brain fungus soup. This will give you +4 intelligence, not quite as good as the +6 from brain bombs, but it's a lot easier to craft. It only takes boiled water and brain fungus. Black-Eyed Susan Soothin for the veteran players that have the resources to craft this one. This one is very good for this build. Now for aid buffs, I recommend Bobblehead Energy. Astoundingly Awesome Tails 10. Berry Mentats. This will give you +5 intelligence. Or Psycho Buff, because if you take this, it'll cancel out the Berry Mentats. Let me know if you have any questions about the build or anything you saw in this video. And thanks to the GlassGang, who show love and support on my content and live streams. It means so much to me. I left the GlassGang link and our Discord link in the description if you want to find a community to play with. We have members on every platform. I also left related content links that I think you might find interesting, like the live stream where we put this build together and didn't use food buffs or any chem buffs the first time around until we got it to single stage EN06. It was a really fun stream. So check that out, link in the description. I'm Miss Glass, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. GG!